Man, Tears of the Kingdom, such an amazing game. I don't think Zelda will ever get better than this. You guys, I am just so excited to finally be able to talk about this amazing game. And what is that? Huh, a peripheral for the Wii. Guess I could take a look at this thing. I mean, it's not like anyone's talking about that new Zelda game anyway.
Have you ever just said, no? Link's Crossbow Training is a game that exists. Yeah, this is a pretty weird part of the Zelda family. This series isn't exactly known for spin-offs or games that only exist to peddle a gimmick. Okay, but those were still full games. How does a release this bizarre come about? Well, Nintendo was hot off the success of the Wii and found a lot of that success appealing to the casual gaming market. There were many reasons for this, one of those being how versatile the Wii Remote was. Look at this thing, it's a TV remote. Who doesn't understand this?
An embryo, maybe?
The Wii Remote's simple design also made it very easy to fit into other things. This meant the Wii Remote could closer resemble a real-life object to give casual players an easier time imagining themselves playing a game. The best example of this was definitely the Wii Wheel for Mario Kart Wii. Stick your Wii Remote in a plastic shell and boom, Dad can finally get behind this whole driving thing. Meanwhile, the Zelda team was hot off the success of The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess. They wanted to make a sequel to the game next, but things don't always work out. Instead, they were tasked with making a game for a new Wii peripheral, the Wii Zapper. Somewhat an homage to the NES Zapper from the 80s, the Wii Zapper was a plastic shell shaped like a gun that you could fit your Wii Remote into. I do not care for this thing. I mean, sure, it looks cool, but it's really complicated to set up and honestly isn't worth it. The Wii Remote goes here, the nunchuck goes here. Okay, then I have to open up this part on the back and store the nunchuck wire in this little area before sealing it back up. That feels wrong. The Wii Zapper isn't even something many games took advantage of. Nobody was thinking, Grandma can't play Mario like this. Add a gun! But maybe the game bundled in with the Wii Zapper could change my mind. So did Link's Crossbow Training justify the Wii Zapper's existence? The first thing worth mentioning here is why? Why make a Twilight Princess themed game with this thing? Isn't this the type of game that appeals to only casual gamers? You know, the types of people who play games with Miis? It's especially confusing since Twilight Princess is a noticeably darker looking Zelda game. If they did this with Wind Waker, I'd have zero questions, but this feels a little strange. They definitely did this so they could reuse assets, which I understand. If you're making a small mini-game for a Wii peripheral, I don't really expect you to create tons of new assets. It just feels weird that they went with Twilight Princess. The game has that standard Wii game UI with little Zelda elements thrown in. The whole thing feels just kind of off. Okay, let's talk about the actual game now. Link's Crossbow Training is a game about shooting targets or enemies to achieve a high score in 8 sets of 3 missions. Honestly, that's a surprisingly large amount of content for a game like this. It even ends off with a boss fight. That's really cool. Each mission takes place in a different location from Twilight Princess, ranging all the way from Link's home in Ordon to the city in the sky. God, imagine being a kid and this is your first Zelda game.
Mom?
There are 3 different types of stages here. Ones where you shoot things from a first-person perspective, ones where you shoot from a third-person perspective and can look around, and ones where you have a full range of movement and walk around an environment in third person. This game is honestly really addicting. Going for a high score is a lot of fun. I don't know why Nintendo doesn't just put this on the Switch eShop or something. At the very least, it could have been a cute addition to Twilight Princess HD on Wii U.
You know, it'd be really fun if they made this game, like, difficult for no reason.
God, I am bad at this game. I can never get past level 5, so if you were expecting me to actually talk about the final boss...
Ha ha ha!
I thought about losing the Wii Zapper partway through, but that actually doesn't help very much. I guess I just got used to how the Zapper feels, weird as it is. I think this game is definitely worth picking up for Twilight Princess fans. If you love that game, you'll definitely love seeing it again in a new way like this. Me personally, yeah, I actually don't like Twilight Princess too much. I mean, it's a fine game, I'd even go as far as to call it great, but by Zelda standards, it never really did anything too amazingly in my opinion.
Now you might be thinking, why paint such a big target on your back? And to that I say, I'm fine. Have you tried shooting with this thing? It's impossible.